Hey, thanks for downloading another episode of Stage Door. Today we got something really cool. We are live at Waterville Playshop's rehearsal. We're doing a rehearsal crash, something totally different, obviously, nothing we've ever done. I'm Kyle with my co-host Tom today, and our first guest we're going to talk to, we're going to be pulling people out of rehearsal and talking to several of them, including the director, Michael, of course. But our first person that we're talking to plays Jesus in the show, which I think is a pretty important character. I'm not really sure. I've never seen it, as usual. I never see any of these shows, obviously. So tell us, Danny, what exactly is the story? How does it start out?
Yeah, it takes place basically in the book of Matthew. And so it
there's already a book? I can just read the book? I don't even need to see the show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. As a matter of fact, you should.
You could read the book. The show is really good as well.
All right.
They don't have music in the book.
I'm going to like it way better
Way
than the
more
book.
music here than in the book.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry I'm going to interrupt a lot. Just so you know, you got to keep talking over me otherwise. Go.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Everything. I want to know everything. Listen, I know nothing. I have never seen this show.
Gotcha.
Give me a couple of the songs that you actually lead on.
The first one is Save the People.
God Save the People.
God Save the People. That's the first one I do, that I'm the main lead for it. And then in the second act, there's one called Beautiful City that I sing.
Which I believe is not in the movie?
It's not. Or he rewrote it.
Right.
For the 15th anniversary, which came out like a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's very different from the Beautiful City that was in the original Godspell.
Okay.
This was
That was like the closing song, wasn't it? Beautiful City. Okay, that's what it is. It wasn't actually in the original play, I don't think.
Right. Just in the movie version.
Gotcha. Right.
And then for this revival, we're singing the Gospel Revival. So the last song it's called the finale, and it's a mashup of all the songs. And then it ends with God Save the People, which is brand new for Godspell in general.
Like how brand new? Like
if you did, so our pianist, her name's Janine. She's
coming on.
Yeah,
Janine's
so she
coming
plays
on.
gospel. You should ask her about it. She's played gospel all the time, from when she was in school and stuff. And she said that the new revival version is like very different from the original version, just like little stuff, to where she's like, oh, I've been playing this for like 20 years one way, but now it's written completely different. But sometimes it's a good change. Sometimes it's like I don't know.
No, man, she better be good at sight reading. All of a sudden comes in and
she's probably the best. She's great.
Yeah, she is.
She's great. I'm gassing her up. She's great.
No, like I said, she's coming in on a recording here soon about music direction. So,
perfect.
So when I'm looking for somebody who's a music director, I said, bing, bing, bing,
Yep.
Janine. I know
Boom.
Janine. Yeah.
Janine Bobber,
and
that's
she's
the
going
one.
to have a chocolate martini ready for her when she arrives.
She's going to love that. She's going to love that. She's going to love it.
I know. It was requested.
It's so good.
She's just going to be like, where's my drink? I don't know why we're doing this stupid podcast without my drink in hand.
Don't worry.
Chip.
I got it. Don't worry.
So we owe you a drink is what we do.
Yeah.
I will take you up on that.
So what else? Tell us some more. Come on.
Yeah,
Pump it
so
up,
basically the show, it talks about, it's about a group of people becoming a community.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that happen throughout the entire show. The first act is really the character of Jesus. He is describing different parables and different things, like we said, from the Bible.
Jesus, who you claim is important in this show.
Very important in this show.
All right.
And so the first act is basically him teaching these people different things about life. And in the second act, you see more of these random people who've come together as a community. And you see them starting to take over some of these stories, and they're telling them, and Jesus is kind of just sitting back and watching and enjoying, kind of just to see them, how they develop and stuff. And towards the end, he...
Don't ruin the show, man.
Read the book, Kyle.
Yeah. But don't ruin the show, but give me a lot, but don't ruin it.
I will, yes.
Although it's probably already know what happens, right? If we did read the book.
If you read the book, I think you know.
All right, go ahead and
Yes,
ruin it.
you
It's
would.
fine.
Yeah, at the end, there's a sad scene where Jesus actually dies and the people come together. But it's really hard. It's like really thought-provoking, heart-touching. From beginning to end, it's really cool to see the character dynamics and the character growth from everyone in the cast. Like, not just Jesus. He's pretty much the same throughout Act 1. Act 2, he's a little more somber. But to see the individual characters change between each song and between the acts is really, really cool. Really cool journey that we're going
So
on.
since you're Jesus, you probably know what happened to you because you were like a baby, and then all of a sudden you were like disappear forever.
Yeah.
You're like a carpenter doing some stuff, I
Right.
guess, and then you what happened to you, man? Where'd you go?
Well, he was really only gone for 3 days, Kyle.
Yeah, and then came back.
He's still here.
No. I meant like he disappeared for a while, like he drifted around, and then he became 35, and then he saved everybody.
Right,
Oh.
yeah.
So what did you do from a baby time to then? What were you doing, man?
I was just, like really working on my carpenter skills. Like, I really wanted to be like the top guy for tables. Like, if you wanted tables, I wanted you to come to me.
Tables.
Like,
You're the one who figured out 4 legs better than
4
3
legs,
for a table.
and then we raised them and put chairs. You know what I'm saying? That was on me.
See, I
like
that.
it.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
wants
like
to know where you went there for
That's
like
all
2
me.
decades.
I was really thinking about it, and I was like, all right, tables with chairs. We're not sitting on the floor anymore, folks. We're sitting in chairs at the tables. It's game changer. Game changer. Revolutionary.
Awesome.
Steven Schwartz wrote the original music to this. And these new versions that you're talking about, is this via him or?
Yep, it's via him. So a lot of it hasn't changed, but some things have changed as well. But it's all Steven Schwartz. So even the Beautiful City, that song at the end, he in the movie version it was a lot faster and more like joyful kind of
Right.
na 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 na. But in this version, in the revival, it's a lot slower and it's more of a ballad. You know, out of the beautiful.
And it's in the middle of the
Yeah.
show at this point.
Yeah, so
right?
it's a completely different take on it, but it is all Steven Schwartz. Yes.
All right. Did you hear him not even singing but still sounding beautiful? Just
Yeah. We can
He's
push
like
him.
not even trying. He's
Knock
like,
it
it's kind of
off.
like this, and he like did it all beautiful. And I was like, okay, I
knock
see
it
why he's
off.
playing Jesus.
Here's your second trivia question today. Can you name anybody that's actually played Jesus, famous? Can you?
Michael Barlos.
Michael Barlos.
The first
Okay.
time I did this musical, it was back in 2015 or 16, I think. Janine's church was actually doing it, and I was a part of the cast, and Michael Barlos was actually Jesus Christ.
Nice.
So who's really awesome in the show? This is your chance to pimp out all your castmates.
It's really hard. They're all really
I know,
awesome.
and we want to hear it. We
They're
want to
all
hear
really
it.
awesome.
Because
So
they're waiting to hear their name dropped.
So Monica sings Day by Day. She's fantastic.
And her character is?
Monica. Yeah, their names are just our names are
Oh.
the same. Yeah, the only people who have like actual name roles are me and then Amber, who plays Judas, and she also plays John the Baptist at first. Then she plays Judas.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's the same as in most versions of this.
But most people, the rest of the cast, they use their actual names.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Monica, she sings Day by Day, which is superb, really good. Jess Mullins, she's singing Learn Your Lessons Well, and I mean the pipes on this lady, like
Nice.
you're gonna be like shouting her. She's like, "Woo, yeah!" super great. Rhiannon Barlos, we all know Rhiannon. She's singing "Bless the Lord," and I mean, tearing the roof down, powerhouse, like.
Yeah, I've heard
Which is
her.
kind of
many
a
times.
gospel kind of
very
pushing
much
song.
so. Yeah, amazing. We have Dennis Kale who is singing. Yeah, you know Dennis.
Yeah, I know Dennis.
He's
I didn't know he
singing-
was in the show.
Yeah, he's singing All Good Gifts, and the first time I heard him sing it, I was blown away because I was in the Little Mermaid musical 2 years ago with Dennis, and
For 3B?
yeah, I was Sebastian.
Nice.
Yep, and so Dennis played like Prince Eric's butler guy, whatever.
Okay, see, so I saw him. I saw Dennis.
Yeah, that was
and
me.
I didn't know it was you.
Yeah, that was
This
me
is-
in the
This is the
musical.
not knowing everybody in the area,
Yeah,
but seeing the
boom.
show and now going, oh,
That was you.
Oh.
That was me. Yeah. And so Dennis sang it, and I think everybody, we kind of just sat and we're like, that was beautiful. Like it was just,
It's a beautiful song.
it really is. And Dennis really just does it so well, so tasteful.
I've heard it done as in a bass. I've heard it done as a baritone, and
Mm-hmm.
I've actually even heard it done as a tenor. Any idea what he does it as?
I think Dennis does it as like a bari tenor. He
tenor?
gets up there, man.
Well, you almost have to. 'cause
Yeah,
it's,
and-
it's a wide range
It
song.
is. And Dennis is up there, and he's just camping out up top, and he's, oh man, I was like, I'm not gonna be sobbing throughout this whole
Oh,
show.
I'm starting to cry now.
Oh,
isn't
I
that the
was
point?
so
That's exactly
good.
what Tom said. Tom said if they play certain songs, I'm going to be balling on this
I
podcast.
said if I hear him in the next room, you're on your own, Kyle.
It's all over. It's all over. Seriously, and that's Dennis. You know, just.
But see, I've never seen the show, and for Tom to have that reaction to the music and to the show, to just now get triggered by a song that's
Yeah,
being played,
yeah.
which puts him, you just transport yourself back. Obviously, you transport yourself back into seeing the stage show and going, weeping like a little baby on the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do they do anything at the end? Like I've seen actually versions where they have a communion with the audience. Now with COVID, they might not be doing.
Yeah, we're not.
something like
yeah,
that.
we're not doing anything too crazy like that. Not this time.
Because I was going to say there's probably wine in the building.
I hope there. If there is, we're gonna grab it right now, guys. We're gonna get a drink, you know. But even to talking to your point, I think that's the beauty of the musical Godspell is that it's a show that's been around for so long, and whether you listen to it when it first came out or you listen to it now, the songs are enough. They're enough the same to where you can still relate to it, and so we can still talk about All Good Gifts and be like, yeah, that song is beautiful and it's amazing, and like I think that's the beauty of gospel. It brings people together like across generations, you know. Like,
But it's also kind of exciting to me, though, because the fact that it obviously is a different show. It's not different.
Yeah.
It's updated.
yeah, it is. It is. And so a lot of the jokes and stuff are updated jokes, updated references. And even still in this one, we've included a lot of more modern jokes so that there's, you know, people can kind of relate to it.
It's okay.
So,
God was funny.
yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
he made a platypus.
Yeah.
He played a platypus.
I love
There you go.
Perry the Platypus. I love Perry the Platypus.
Perry the platypus.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Perry? I mean,
Exactly. He's the best. Unhealthy obsession.
no,
I don't want
it's-
to talk about it.
it's fine. I met Allison Stone in real life, so there. See.
No, you didn't.
And she did a voice on the show for those who don't know. So
Yeah, she was Isabella?
she did the "What you doing?
What you doing?
Yeah, she was that girl. That
I'm
was
talking
her
about
liner.
Phineas and Ferb if you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Phineas
sure,
and
you,
Ferb.
I'm sure you all know.
Everybody.
As a
knows
matter of
it.
fact, you're in charge now. When,
Oh.
when you start explaining to our audience what you're talking
Phineas and
about,
Ferb,
that's
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah,
we don't normally have
absolutely.
people that can handle that.
Yeah, it's a great show. You check it out.
Yeah. So, anything else, man? Come on, pimp some more people out. There's got to be more people in the show that
you
are
ready?
pretty
Okay, here
good.
we go. So we
Yeah.
have
Because if you leave them out, they're gonna
I won't leave
come at
anybody
you at
out.
rehearsal.
We got Matthew singing "Light of the World," which is the Act 1 closer, and Matthew has such a big personality. So whenever he does any kind of line and he's stepping out, like you're gonna know it's him. He's hilarious. Just he's unapologetically himself, and I love that. And so even when he's singing "Light of the World," it's just like he's rocking out, and it makes you want to like. Yeah, I want to jam out too because he's out
Nice.
here giving his all. It's like
And he's cheating. He actually does have a Bible name.
he does have a Bible name. I have a Bible name. You know, like
Daniel, absolutely.
we get the freebie pass. You know, he's
Yeah.
cheating, so
Let's hope you're not fasting for this.
no.
Okay. Same here.
I
won't gonna say anything.
You couldn't see, but I just patted my stomach, which shows that I am indeed not a faster.
No, I'm not gonna. Say, I make no judgments on anybody.
It's okay. I'm not a faster, and I know that. That's good. I like to eat my food.
Do we know when this is actually running?
Yes, September 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So it's going to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Where?
At?
At the Mommy Indoor Theater at 8 p.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But Sunday, the show is going to be at 2:30 p.m.
Okay.
And you can get your tickets at watervilleplayshop.org. If it's not .org, it's .com. But I'm 99% sure it's .org. Don't quote me on
It's
that.
.org. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
.org.
too, yeah.
We're going to go with .org.
Yeah. So what do you love about this show?
I think I love every time I do it. It's a different group of people, and it's really cool because we have people who are like super super young and people who are more seasoned in life, and we can all relate to just the chaoticness, the craziness of Godspell. It really is a show that once it starts, it really doesn't stop until the end. You know, we're kind of just we're going where we're going. There's not really a lot of breaks as opposed to Act 1 and Act 2. There's a break there, but for the most part, Act 1 is nonstop. We're just going foot on the gas, and we're going all the way to the end till we get to that break. So it's really fun and cool just to be able to bounce off of each other, get new ideas, get new perspectives about life and stuff. And even there's a lady here named Lisa that I've been talking to her, and she's a priest in Toledo. And she started telling me about how she loves music, and I love music, and we just started talking about guitars and all this just stuff that, like, you know, we're all the same. We're different, but we're all the same, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think I like the fact that we can find those commonalities between each other and, like, talk about that and express that. Lisa also has a beautiful voice.
Of course.
If
It
you
sounds
haven't
like
heard
everybody
Lisa.
in the show must have a
Lisa
beautiful
singing
voice.
by my side, beautiful. Amber, beautiful voice. She's singing Prepare You the Way. She's singing On the Willows. Like, Drew, he's singing We Beseech Thee, gorgeous. Amber is singing what's that song? Turn Back Old Man. It's just like hit after hit after hit. And everybody in our cast, Alicia, Ben, Becca, Kate, everybody, they're all stars. This is an all-star cast, and I can't wait for you all to, like, come check it out.
It's funny. Over time, there have been many musicals from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. This one actually had a Billboard, I believe, top 10 hit day by day. So not all musicals can say that.
No. And for our first guest in this podcast, you've set the bar pretty high. I don't know what anybody else is even going to talk about.
I got old Bless the Lord My Soul coming through the walls over here.
Yeah, and it's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the goosebumps?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, what the heck? This is amazing. So I think I called everybody out in the cast for how amazing they are. If I missed you, I just want to say right now that I love you so much, and I owe you something.
How about that director? Is he any good?
I mean, he's okay. He like, I don't know. He's kind of hard to describe. He's a weirdo.
He's a piece of work.
Just kidding. I love Michael Barlow.
He's sitting right here.
Yeah, he's the reason I got back into musicals. Actually, like when I did, it was Godspell like 5-6 years ago, and I've been doing like one a year ish since then. So.
And I've heard you sing, and that kind of breaks my heart that you got out of singing. That's not cool.
Yeah, I started.
Thank you for coming back. Yeah, because that's not cool.
I started late in high school, and then I got to college, and I got really busy with college stuff. And
I know.
Then I graduated, and then Michael was like, "You should do a musical," and I was like, "I haven't done one since high school," and he's like, "Don't worry about it." And so I went and I did it, and I was like, "Wow, I actually love this, and I should probably keep doing this."
Cool.
And so.
Cool.
You guys door got open. I'm going next door to.
Door open right in the middle of what he was saying.
Ahead,
it just got louder.
Get in there.
Yeah.
The choreography is really easy. You'll pick it right up. Come on.
Well, the dancing is not happening with me.
Tom's more of a mover.
I'm more of a sitter and watcher is what I am.
You can move in the back. It's okay. No one.
They'll never see me?
They'll never see you. We got a spot for you.
I hate to say this, but I was actually in Songfest at the University of Toledo, and we did Godspell.
No way.
Back in, oh my goodness, 1982?
I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, I ain't figured that much.
No.
I'm kidding. I wasn't, but it was a joke.
I did not know
No,
Jesus.
really, I wasn't.
Well, I do know Jesus personally, but I did not know him while he was live.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You helped write a couple of the chapters in the book.
Yeah.
Love your work, Tom. That's great.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
The Book of Tom.
You doubt that, don't you? No, I'd be the doubting Thomas. But
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's grab the next person. Send in our next person.
All righty.
Make
Daniel,
it good because they really got to
wonderful.
follow up on something really amazing here. So
You guys are great.
thank you.
And don't forget, you owe me a drink.
We owe you a drink, and I can't wait to see the show.
All righty.
right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so we got rid of the first guest. Now we have Alicia here. So, Alicia, what are you doing in the show?
So I am in the ensemble. So
Okay.
I kind of do a little bit of everything. A little singing, a little dancing, a little acting. So triple threat, I like to say.
Are you leading in any of the songs?
No, I am featured in the song By My Side, which is a really beautiful piece. And so there are 5 women who kind of sing it all together, and I'm really
That's the
kind
one
of
that makes
grateful
me
to be.
cry, Kyle.
That is the one?
Yes.
It's stunning.
What's it called? All by myself?
By My Side.
All by myself.
No, Kyle, don't. Please don't.
No, it's not that?
Similar, no.
I wanna be... Oh.
Will you walk down the road with me? By myself.
Pebble in my shoe.
Pebble in my shoe, yeah.
All
Which
right.
is definitely a story in the Bible.
Is it?
Yes.
You're right. I do need
Well,
to
this
read
is
the
all
book.
based on Matthew in the Bible. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
so
going to
it's-
get Kyle to read the book.
Oh,
here.
yeah. That's never going to happen. Sorry, everybody in the world, but that's not going to happen.
It's not a prerequisite, no
the
worries.
the pages are so thin.
They are.
It's just, I just can't. I can't imagine if it was the regular paper how thick that book would be.
Thankfully, our scripts are a little bit more sturdy. I feel like.
So tell us about everybody that's amazing in the cast. That's what we want to do because the first guest came in. He told us everything about the show. So you don't need to do that. You just need to tell
Yeah.
us some of the stuff you love about this show and why people need to come and see it.
I mean, where to start? It truly is, and I know a lot of people say this about their shows they are in, but everybody truly brings such a special piece to this show, which is absolutely amazing. And one of the things I like about this production is that we really get to be our own characters. So we're not portraying people portraying other people. We're being us and how we
That's what
would
Danny was
react
saying.
in a
He's saying you
scene.
get to be Alicia.
Yeah, and so it's cool to get to see who people really are. I mean, we came in, I didn't really know a lot of individuals in the cast. I'm new to the area. And what I really appreciate is I've got to learn so much about the people I'm in the show with. And, I feel like these people are all my family, all my friends. We're so close. And I think that will really present itself on stage as something super special. You'll get to see a production and you'll get to see people at some of their most vulnerable times, some of their most silliest times, and some of their most confident times.
You're new to the area? How new?
I have only been here 3-4 months.
See, I feel much better about not knowing
And
who
from
you
where?
are then.
Yeah, no, I came from Columbus.
Columbus.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And the best way to get to know everybody and make friends is obviously theater.
That was my goal. So my husband was born and raised here. He did theater when he was all up around here. My in-laws are all around here, but I'm new to the area, and I was like, look, I need to make some friends that are not like my family.
Yeah.
Love them, but I need to branch out. So
I get that.
I was like, I'm going to join this production. I didn't really know too much about Godspell, really the show or anything like that, and so it's been great to have this experience with everybody.
So you've never seen a production of it before?
No, never.
Oh, this is, but that's important too. So you can bring your own vision, basically,
Yeah.
through what you're doing.
At first, I thought I was going to be frustrated by not having any sort of background or context to the show. I mean, I knew it was a slightly religious background of a musical, but what I appreciate about it is that that doesn't hurt me. That doesn't, make me any less of an actor or performer because I don't know the show, because I can put myself in the show. I can be in the show however I want to be, which
And
has
this is
been
one
really
that
awesome.
allows you to do that.
Exactly.
All the separate characters are kind of individualized. And I've seen multiple versions of this where people are totally different in different versions. I saw a lady play Jesus once.
Yeah, Bowling Green. I remember you going
Bowling
to
Green,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's definitely being different.
Yes.
So.
Tell us some more. Come on, man. We got a lot of space to fill on this
man.
podcast.
I mean, I think that there are so many different ranges of songs too. So it's not like, I think some of those musicals can just be overall sad, and some musicals can be overall super happy. And this is a show that really allows the actors and the audience, I think, to explore those ranges of emotions. Everybody's going to feel maybe a different way in a song than someone else, and how you read into it and how you take what you need from it is really up to you and up to the audience. So I think every show will be different. Every audience member will feel differently. I know I feel differently every scene we do, and it's just how it impacts you is pretty cool.
Have they given you any sneak peeks on costumings or sets or anything yet?
So costumes are completely up to us. So we were Michael was really generous and allowed us to kind of present ourselves how we wanted to. So everybody that you'll see on stage costumed themselves, however they wanted to present themselves is fully on them. Now, we got clearance by Michael, of course, so we can look a little bit uniform, but it's really awesome to be able to have that self-expression and be able to really, I think, better connect to the show and what you're comfortable in. So you're not in a stuffy costume or in something that doesn't really work for who you are as a person.
So you're not coming out as Wonder Woman.
You'll have to find out.
After the show, I'll have to go.
You'll have to find
Absolutely.
out. No spoilers.
Well, he's
no
letting
spoilers.
you be who you are.
Yeah.
You're going to give us a little clue of who you might be, or no?
I'm going to be Alicia. I'm going to be
There you
me.
go.
I'm
Very
going to.
good.
So what you're wearing now?
No, I'll be slightly more dressed up than a t-shirt and
Is it
leggings.
more? Is because Danny was saying that it's what did it say? Reimagined version with the new music. What did he call it? I forgot what he said already.
Yeah, it's like a.
That was like 10 minutes
they
ago. My
call it-
brain already flew away. I'm like Dory the fish. Oh, what
It's
was
a
that?
long day.
Yeah.
It's the I think it's called revised
Okay.
so it's the 2012 version, which was the newest production of it, and so I think
Right.
they revamped a couple of the
So
songs.
are the clothes more modern then, or does it take place in modern times, or does it
Yeah,
take place
so
still back in?
it's my clothes will be modern. I think a couple of people will have modern dress and how they'll express themselves. I know some people are going to maybe look a little bit of the 70s feel, which I
Oh.
think was more akin to the original production.
Right.
that what it was? They were in
73 is
70s?
when the movie was
Yeah.
out. Right.
So this isn't like a period piece where they actually put on all of
well,
the.
it's a period piece, but it's 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's updated. Obviously.
Right. That's what I mean. I
We're
didn't
not
know.
in like Roman.
That's what I
garb.
wanted to know.
Right.
So there's
No,
not like
no,
that at all.
no.
It's never been that way.
In the movie, they're basically almost hippies.
Okay.
Yeah.
To a point.
Okay, good. That's I see. Dude, I know nothing about this show. This is why I host these things to learn things, because I know nothing.
It's a great show, and I think with being able to have that freedom of dress and expression is going to make it, it'll make it a little bit more abstract. So
When you're listening to some of these songs, is there anything in you that says, maybe I'll go look what that's up in the actual book, in the Bible? Is that, or I wonder if anybody has.
I personally have not. Now, I do know that we have a cast member, Lisa Tucker Gray, who is, I hope I don't get her title wrong, but she is a pastor, I want to say, at a
Danny said priest, so
He said
she's
priest.
definitely
yes,
a religious
she's
leader
a
of some
religious
sort.
leader, yes, and she is very close with the text and obviously really knows the stories, and so it's interesting to hear her perspective and background on it. I go into it a little blind. I like to take from the scene what you will. It's this is going to sound horrible, but it's very like dumbed down version of the Bible.
Nice.
So it's
It is,
silly
to a point.
in a
Yes, I get
sense
it.
sometimes, and it's very like straight to the point. And
It's a
the
pretty heavy
teachings-
book. I don't know how much that would translate well onto a musical theater
Yeah,
show.
there's some abstract
a lot
portion
of-
of it.
lot
You
of
take
stuff in
some
there.
serious maybe pieces and make them a little silly, make them a little funny, but then you also show some really heavy pieces and you perform them that way. And it's, you watch kind of the whole story that a lot of people know, you know, Jesus coming, being our Savior, and him, oh, hey, Denny. And him.
Denny just walked across the room here. Told you, man, we're live. We're here at the rehearsal. We're doing a rehearsal crash, and people are just walking in and out, and doors are opening. So
it's crazy.
hopefully it's not too distracting to everybody at home as they go by, hey, Denny, hey, little person walking.
Was that, I was trying to hear what the song was. That Turn Back, Oh Man?
That's Turn Back, Oh Man,
Okay,
yeah.
I was wondering what that was.
But I think that you really can, like, look into the show and learn something. And the way we put this on is pretty freaking cool.
I don't want to speak for Stephen Schwartz, but I believe that was his whole point. Was even if we just get some of the story out there,
Yeah.
somebody will maybe grasp to it. I was kind of one of
That
those
makes
people.
sense. That makes sense, yeah.
You know?
There's something that piqued them and drew them towards more
Yeah,
towards
you
the
don't
book.
have to be Christian. You don't have to be Catholic to come to the show and really learn
I'm really
something.
want to focus on the fact that you came from out of town. You've been here just a few months now. Can you give me any feelings and more that you have for actual Waterville Playshop itself?
I appreciate that the theater itself has really let us make our mark on the show. They haven't really been incredibly excessive with directions in terms of what they want it to look like, what they want it to be, and have really left that portion to be decided by the actors and by, you know, Michael himself, our director. And so it's been really great to kind of have that artistic freedom, but also having what feels like a very safe space and a very positive space to perform. We get to be our most authentic selves and not be judged, not be ridiculed, not be criticized. And I think that's very special. And especially coming out of a pandemic, well, we're still in a pandemic, but, you know, coming from a place where performances were halted, art really suffered, to be able to kind of go into a show where you can be yourself and do what you want to do and perform how you want to perform is incredibly powerful, and it's been really healing as well.
So you would recommend other people to do Waterville shows?
100%.
There
I'll
you
be
go.
back
There you go.
if they
Well, that's great to
invite
hear.
me back. Yeah.
So being new to the area, how did you find out, or how did you actually find them, or find out about how to try out for this? Or, I mean,
Yeah.
you said your husband
Yeah,
is
so
part of
he
it. So was that
did theater for a really big portion, and so I was also lucky to have two friends who are from the area as well, who I reached out to, and I was like, hey, how can I find out about new productions? How can I find out about auditions? I was really immersed in the Columbus theater scene, and I wanted to replicate that here in Toledo and surrounding areas. So I was like, where do I go to find auditions? I was like, please tell me it's not like a Google search or it's like super, like no one's allowed to know when auditions are, anything like that. But it's been, I found a Facebook group that's been really beneficial as well. And just keeping my,
A Facebook group? What's the
Yeah.
group? Go ahead and say.
oh, I can't. It's
Toledo
like-
Area Theater Exchange.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes, we just had Jeffrey Albright on with Actors Collaborative Toledo.
Okay.
He was the last episode. So I
It's
thought
so
the answer, I was
helpful.
really hoping the answer was, well, I heard this podcast that was, hosted
Well,
by
that'll
these
be the
regular
later
guys.
people.
To be fair, I did hear about the podcast a couple of days after because your podcast was being promoted in the group as well. And so I was
Nice.
like, that's pretty freaking cool that there's a podcast in the area.
freaking cool.
Yeah.
I know.
They don't have that in Columbus, I'll tell you that.
What?
At least as far as I
they
know.
can borrow if they want?
Yeah, it's because we have an obsession. I don't
Yeah.
know, or we have a problem. Yeah.
But I like that. That to me reads as that there's a really proactive theater group here, and there are people who are passionate about community
is.
theater.
Very much
You
so,
know,
very
It's
much
it's
so.
really great.
Well, it's also impressive to me that you came into this town in 4 months, and this is only about a 12 to 15 person cast, isn't it?
14, I think.
14.
There
Oh,
are
12,
of us.
15.
Look at that.
And
Tom's
you're
the
in.
man.
Yeah.
So that says something about you right there.
Oh, well, thank you.
And also
So-
about Waterville, about their openness to
Right,
new people.
right.
They're not all closed
Yeah.
off and saying, these are our people. Nobody else is allowed to audition.
Yeah.
That's a big compliment to Waterville Playshop
It's-
as well.
I'm so grateful. I can't even begin to express. It's helped make my transition up here so much easier.
Oh, I bet.
And has been, such a wonderful thing to be a part of.
So all you other directors out there, we are now introducing you to Elisa,
Alicia.
Alicia, and
Allison.
Kyle,
And Kyle, yeah.
and go see her in Godspell,
Yes.
Yes.
and then you will be wanting her in your own show.
I enjoy her
that's
personality,
dope.
so if anything, she's at least going to bring a positive attitude to the show. I haven't heard you sing,
I try.
but according to Danny, everybody rocks in this show.
Yeah, truly. I mean, some people rock and rock
Oh, yeah.
out. So
They
it's,
double rock?
They
Yeah,
double
double
rock.
rock. It's
Well,
pretty great.
I know Michael as a director, he manages to pull out some serious talent. So when
Yeah.
you walked in, he was like bonus person as
He's-
opposed to people he already had heard 100 times.
He's been
you know.
such a great and awesome director.
Really?
I couldn't be more
Man,
happy to
this
be
is
able to
terrible.
work with
I-
him.
we're trying to get
we
the
pimp
dirt
him
out
up
on him.
so much, and it's always just so many positive things about him.
No, he's fantastic. I mean, rehearsals are so much fun.
It's gonna make it so hard not to like him, isn't it? All the time,
there's
everybody keeps
never
saying
been
nice
a
things
point where
about.
I've been like, oh, I really don't want to go. And
Oh,
if I
that's
have to miss,
awesome.
I'm like, man, I'm really missing rehearsal and I'm missing my friends. Michael finds a way to make it really fun and engaging for everybody, and
Awesome.
helps us connect to the story, to the show, to the songs in a way that's extremely helpful.
And he's performed at it himself, so
Yes.
Yeah.
that's a. I'm not sure how many directors actually do that.
Yeah. It's helpful. I mean, you get an actor's perspective, you get a performer's perspective on it, which some directors are really great at directing, but to know how it feels to be in that scene and in that song and in that moment just is so helpful.
This is great. We don't have to add music to this one.
No, not at all. I'm gonna have to just let it go on and on and on.
Well, this is great.
Yeah.
This is the music to the show that's in our
Yeah.
background.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Let's talk to
Thank
the
you.
next person.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you remember who it is?
No.
Okay.
That's your job, man.
Oh, dang it.
Andrew, just sat down. We just adjusted your mic, tried to make sure everything sounds okay. I'm sure we screwed it up. The door's going to open, so you're going to hear some extra music going on here. Yay. Andrew, what is your role in the show?
Well, I don't like to think of Godspell as kind of a show with roles.
Okay.
Especially with there's obviously Jesus, there's Judas, those are two big roles. But I think the way Michael made this show, kind of fit was, he chose about 15 people and he just said, we all have our own role in this show. Nobody has a small part. We're all part of like a bigger cast. But I do a solo song. I
Nice.
do the song We Beseech Thee in the second act.
Oh.
So.
Again, this
We
is,
beseech thee,
I have
hear
told
us.
what is it, Tom? Sorry?
I was just saying, we beseech thee, hear us.
They-
Talk
well-
about. I know. Yeah, go on.
I don't know. I don't know any of these shows.
I'll let him sing it.
My brain works in weird ways whenever I hear you say things like "we be jamming" is all I heard when you said that.
We be jamming.
Yeah, we be jamming. We be jamming.
Yeah, come on, man.
Not in Godspell.
That's all
That I
I
know.
like.
No,
So
not in Godspell.
somebody who doesn't know anything about this show at all, my brain just works in weird ways here.
Yeah,
So
We
that's
Beseech
solo.
Thee is the it's kind of the climax of the second act. It's
Oh.
it's the last really, I like to call it, fun song before things kind of
Right.
like you know what happens with the whole story in the
What?
Bible, the
What
New
happens?
Testament.
No. You go see the show.
Yeah, you got to go
Or
see the
read the
show.
book,
But if
one of
you
the
read
two.
your Bible, you know what happens.
We'll get Cal
screwed
before
then.
this is done with.
All right. So it gets happy and it builds up this, like you said, a happy song.
Yeah, it's a very happy song. It's kind of the poster of the show. Come sing about love is the big overlying arch of the song, and I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs. This is my second time doing Godspell, and I love that.
Did you get to
song.
sing a song in that version also, or
Oh yeah, it was directed by Michael as well.
did you sing "We Beseech Thee" in that one?
Again,
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
same song
So
twice.
you got this one down.
Yeah, I got this one down. I
Okay,
didn't need
good.
to practice much for this one.
That's good. That's good.
So when people come and see this show, what should they expect to see from this particular group of people? Since you already did it once before, and I'm sure you probably thought that group was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Why is this group so much more amazing and people have to come see?
I think it's just the way the cast kind of immediately kind of clung to each other. Whenever somebody needed help, it was just immediately on the Facebook page, like, hey, I need a learning track for this. And somebody would go in like their studio application and like break apart our songs and like
Wow.
give
Nice.
us our own parts like to sing. Like it was amazing, the outpouring of help that people have gotten in this show, and just the overall the feeling of the bonding of the cast. You'll definitely feel it at the show that this is definitely just not a group of people that got together once every a couple times a week and rehearsed. It's definitely a group of people that really are close to each other, and they have definitely come closer together through this show.
And we're going to obviously see that on stage. That all translates. The
It
fact
all
that-
it all translates. It
How-
really does.
How in the world, like most community theater groups would have been like, you're screwed. We don't even know how to break these tracks apart. So that's amazing that you
Yeah.
guys have people that are
Yeah,
the
we
ability
have
to
we
do
have a
that.
lot of people. If I'm not mistaken, we have a lot of people in the BG College of Music here. So a lot of people doing a lot of big things with music in their life.
Anthony Wayne and Bowling Green kind of have a connecting thing to begin with. It seems that a lot of people that graduate out of Anthony Wayne seem to go down to Bowling Green.
Yep.
So it's common.
It's very common. Bowling Green or UT, those are the two big schools that a lot of people just tend to go to. But music-wise, I believe Bowling Green is the
BG's
more
got a
popular.
great,
It's got a
music
great music
program.
education school.
Yeah, it does. It's well known for that one, though. So.
Now, Andrew wouldn't have been a problem having a beer with, considering he's wearing a bar shirt.
Yes.
Is that what you'll be wearing for the show? Because we were told that you guys are going to be able to be yourselves and wear.
No. So
I didn't expect that, but
no. I just decided I'm painting today. We're painting the sets,
nice.
so I decided to wear the bar shirt that I don't no longer work at. So I was like, I'll just throw this one on.
Community theater, so they put you to work doing everything.
Yeah, they put you to work doing everything. I swear, they should pay me for this.
Yeah.
So you've been a waiter.
I've been a kitchen cook
kitchen
for
cook.
a long time.
Don't let anyone know that.
But everybody's costumes in the show are just kind of going to reflect, like, Michael tried to convey, who they really want to be. And I decided, I dress in black, like, all the time. It's a running joke with my parents that, like, my favorite color is black.
And yet
And
he's
so
in a
dark gray,
I
right?
decided
Green
to
shirt.
do pink for the show.
Oh, nice.
My color is going to be pink. I tried to get with my hairstylist and get my hair permanently, semi-permanently colored pink.
Nice.
But it didn't work out. But I am still going to do some form of pink.
Why didn't it work out?
Just canceled appointments. I have nothing against her, but she got sick. And, in this day and age, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
get
Don't mess
together
with
with
it,
people who are
right.
sick. Don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything in this show that you think we should? I mean, we're going to the show anyway, but is there one thing that sticks out to you as something that's a must-see part of the show besides yourself, Andrew?
Obviously.
Thank you. Of course.
the Weeby Jammin' song.
The Weeby Jammin' song, of course. And I got to say the finale. You got to stay for the finale of the show. It is, if we do it right, and we've been practicing a lot on doing it right, just even from down to an emotional standpoint, doing this finale right, we hope to put some tears in people's eyes in a good way. But
This is becoming a running theme, though. The emotions obviously go up and down in this show.
they go up and down. It's a roller coaster.
Similar to the book.
So, yeah, similar to the book. Believe it or not.
That's good, though. I mean, I might actually have to see the show. Like
There
you
are some
said.
really fun songs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't usually do shows twice.
Yeah.
It's not something that I normally do. But Godspell is just a show that if I was asked to do it for a 50th time, I'd do it.
Now, we beseech
that's a
thee.
huge selling point right there.
Oh, it's great. It's a great song. It's a great show. Sorry.
That's okay.
The end of the We Beseech Thee song I've seen done different ways. Is there a unique way this one's being done where a group of people, like in the soundtrack, I think there's all sorts of people making different noises.
Yeah,
and
it's
are
called
you-
in the score of the music, and everybody was joking. They call it trampoline business because in the Broadway version of the show, they were literally jumping on trampolines, up and down on trampolines, like going bow boing boing bing bow boom bing, and it's this big a cappella like kind of break in the middle of the song. We still do that, and it's definitely our own thing. Everybody's got their own little wee woo wop 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 that they do.
fun. That's
So,
that's one of the fun highlights.
It's such a fun part to do. And that is definitely one of the highlights of that song and the show in general is just all the fun little breaks that you get to do.
Nice.
Nice.
Who do you want to pimp out in the show? There's quite a few people in the show. You said there's only actually not quite a few. There's only 15, right? Is it
14.
you said 14,
14 or
15?
15.
Yeah, and we've already heard some rave reviews about tons of people in the show. I do believe your name actually came up. So I want to hear you tell some other people.
Okay, tattle
how
on
great
some
they
other
are.
people.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Let's
Well,
see if you mention the same people because then we'll
I
know
gotta
who to
say,
actually
Danny,
watch.
Jesus,
Oh,
he's. I've been friends with Danny for a very long time. We've done cabaret shows together. We've done shows together. He's just an amazingly talented guy, and I can only give 1,000,000% props to him. Also, Ashley, she does "Turn Back, Oh Man" in the show. Very great. Lisa, she does a lot of little things, and she has like a girl song in the second act called "By My Side," but she's so innovative. She brings her guitar in one day and she made up a song for one of the parables in the show that we're doing.
That's
so
amazing.
instead of just
Really?
speaking it, she's like, on a man on his way to Jericho was set upon by robbers, and we're just kind of going along.
Tom's
with it,
going
sitting
for
in a
sure. Look
circle.
at him over there.
Oh, yeah, I
can see
know.
his
Oh,
eyes.
I got
great.
goosebumps. He's talking
Tom's
about
eyes
that.
Yeah,
getting
it's
bigger and bigger.
fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
just the amount of just innovation, and that's what I also like. I got to pimp out Michael, of course, the director of the show.
Again.
One of my best friends since day one. He found me in high school, and he has taken me everywhere with him.
Apparently, everybody likes this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody likes this
I'd like
guy.
to
I know
meet him
it's almost
sometime.
impossible, right?
It's got to be a great thing though to have a director that is so into the
he's-
show and in
he
support of your
definitely
cast
he gives
members.
1,000,000% every time, and it shows.
Yeah.
So this is the second time you've done Godspell, you said.
Yes.
What made you want to go and try out for a song like or a play like this, a musical?
Another time, like a second.
Well,
time?
even the first time. What was the first
The
time?
first time,
visiting?
the first time it was Michael's first time directing a show, and he, like I said, he's one of my day ones, and he actually personally he came.
So
to
you
me
were a
and he
support
was-
system, basically.
Yeah, and he told me, he was like, "Listen, man, I'm doing Godspell for the first time." He's like, "I need you to come try out for this show." I was like, "Okay, sure." I was just fresh out of high school, class of 2015, Maumee High School. So
2015.
I know, right? It's getting there.
No,
I'll make you. Want me-
I'd been married for 16 years by that point, so that's funny.
my friend had his kid go into kindergarten the other day, class of 2034. But yeah, he directed it for the first time, and he wanted me to come along, and I was fresh out of high school, and it was my first community theater show, and that's what got me hooked on community theater.
Very cool.
2015. I had a kid, I think, just about out of high school by then. So
Yeah.
we'll just show how long we've been around.
Exactly. Anything else you want to pimp out in the show? Should I use
No,
the word
just
pimp
come get your
in the
tickets.
show?
They're selling out fast.
Awesome.
We're selling a lot of tickets.
I
A lot of
love
them to
to
my
hear that.
family.
All in your family. I love to hear that theater groups are selling out fast.
Yes,
Love
it's great
I
to
don't.
hear.
I want
Support
tickets
your
to this.
local artists, definitely too. Gotta pimp that out real quick.
Cool.
And we are all into that, supporting them. That's why we do this.
Obviously, and all the money we get. Okay, so now we have the real star of the show.
No.
Oh, no. That's Danny, right? Danny's the real star of the show?
Well, I
I don't
think-
know. Jesus I feel like must be important. but
I
then-
feel like this whole show, everybody's the star, and that's like the cool thing about Godspell is that
Gotcha.
everybody is a working component of the show, and everybody's equally as important. Jesus is pretty important, though.
Yeah. But you know what? You just said exactly what the other guy said, too.
Yeah.
Everybody feels important in the show. There is no show in here. Did I say this is Rhiannon? Did I say that?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Rhiannon we're talking with right now. Sorry,
Hi.
everybody in the listening world who just jumped in when I don't know. I kind of ramble here. So what is your role in the show?
Well, we all play ourselves, so
Okay.
I'm playing Rhiannon in
Oh.
the show, but I am singing the solo "Bless the Lord."
Which
See,
we
I
actually
gotta stop
just
asking
heard
that
a couple
question.
songs ago.
Yes,
You were just practicing.
Yeah,
it.
that was
Yes.
the first one that we ran today.
I got to stop asking that question, apparently, because is there really only just like one character?
Jesus and Judas are the only
Oh.
two named characters in the show. Everybody else plays like a fictionalized version of themselves.
Also told to me already in this
and
podcast.
Judas-
I am really not paying attention.
Judas also plays John the Baptist, who
Yes.
baptizes Jesus,
Gotcha.
also in the Bible.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're kind of connected to the director in a unique way.
I am.
So is that so how's that been going on? You have this working relationship in the show, but then you have a personal relationship with the director as well.
Yes,
So-
I'm married to the director.
Oh,
Well,
But it's pretty fantastic. I mean, Michael and I are such a great team, and we met doing theater, so it really just is. It melds right together because this is where our relationship started. So working with him in a leadership role is not complicated for us at all. He's such a fabulous director, and he's very passionate about this show, and it just exudes out of him every single rehearsal. So it's just a ton of fun to do what you love with the person that you love.
so weird because the other three people we had on did not have that kind of reaction about Michael. They had terrible things to say about him.
I'm
so
sure.
now you come in and you say something completely different I don't know who to believe at this point.
Nice
in
try,
time.
Kyle.
Oh.
He's a pretty fantastic guy, and it's pretty hard to deny that.
Have you done more shows with him?
Yes. So Michael and I have been together for 10 years, and we actually met when I met you and Gabe. That's our first show together.
Titanic?
Not Titanic, Seussical.
Oh my gosh, that
Seussical.
was
So 10 years ago?
Michael was in Seussical?
Yeah, he was a Wickersham when I was the Sour Kangaroo, so that's when we met.
Did not know
so
that.
we've done dozens and dozens of shows together as performers. This is only the second time we've worked together with him in a leadership role and me being a performer in the show.
The other one was?
Godspell.
Well, I see we're branching out.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but they were also, so I yelled Titanic, though, too. They were in Titanic
Yes.
together, and that was great. Did you guys play love interest in that show?
No, we did not.
Oh.
I played a Kate,
Right.
and he was connected to another Kate, so I got to watch it every
you
night.
were
It
the
was
Kate
great.
that knew about, not Maryland. It was a different one. So, Albert QQ.
Yes, I was Albert,
Albert
QQ. That was my
See?
line.
There
yes.
we go. See? And
I forgot Gabriel was in it, and Emma was in it too,
Yes,
right?
they
Yeah,
were
they
both
both
in
Is this
were.
the one that
Yeah.
Ron was in?
Yep, that's
yes,
the one Ron was in.
Then I actually saw that one.
There you go. This is a room full of people who know the show. I
Yes.
love it. Yeah, so that
I
was
heard the
so I
boat
thought
sinks.
that was the first time you guys had met. That has nothing to do with this podcast at all, but we're just saying it anyway. We're bringing everybody into this personally.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
So I want to know more about this show, exactly like why it's so great, and we keep asking this. We don't really need to know about the show because everybody's before you just told us about the show. We just
Yeah.
want to know why being in this cast and why the people in this cast are so amazing and why Waterville Playshop is so amazing.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the show within itself is just so fabulous because the whole entire preface of it is building a community, building a city together. And by the end of the show, like, you truly do that with these people. Everyone in this show, especially with me, for those who don't know, I'm almost 8 months pregnant. So I am physically unable to do a lot of things in this show. So just having people, like, pick up my slack when it turns
nice.
into, like, picking things up or, moving things for me. Everyone is so willing and able to do it. And I'm just so blessed. And working with this group of people, half of them I knew really well. I mean, a lot of these people were in my wedding party. That's how close we are. Some of them are former students that I worked with when I was a
Really?
choreographer. And some of them I've never met before. So it's just a really cool dynamic to deepen relationships that I already had, strengthen ones that were, a completely different type of relationship with teacher and student, and then grow these new relationships with all these brand new people. And we've only been doing this for, 5-6 weeks, and we already feel like such a family. And I think that's what's so special about Godspell in particular, and this cast.
Yeah.
8 months pregnant, and the
Yes.
show's in a couple weeks. That would bring on a whole new part to the Godspell show. to be have a baby come out on stage.
Yeah, let's hope that
You
it
get
doesn't
paid
come
double?
out early.
Do you get paid double for this?
No, but I do get a lot of breaks and a lot of water.
That's good. That's good. Everybody's being real nice. But that's something also says about theater people that you guys just meet each other.
Yes.
And then you can bond so quickly.
Yes.
That doesn't happen. I mean, there's people I work with, I don't even know their last names.
Right. And
I've
with
been there
this
for
type of
13
show,
years.
we're all on
Tom,
stage.
what the hell is your last name anyway?
We're not letting anyone know.
Oh, yeah.
that,
Nobody
right?
needs to know that. Yeah.
But with this show, we're all on stage the entire time. It's not like a traditional musical where, the chorus is on stage for the one number and then everybody shuffles off and then the leads stay on there. Like, we are on stage 90% of the show,
Nice.
interacting with each other the whole entire time. And I think that's why we get so close, is because we don't have the opportunity to leave the stage and hang out with your friends, because you're with your friends the entire time that you're performing, which is
That's
really
awesome,
cool.
though.
Yeah.
That it also builds a situation where I'm not superior to somebody else,
Yes.
because I'm on stage. I got to know 90, and you're just a chorusy person who
Yeah.
can. Not that it does that. And I feel like I made up something there, because I don't think that happens a lot in theater though either.
No,
So I don't.
I mean,
give
at least
bad
not
mouth.
in my experiences that
Right.
I've had. I think that community theater community here in Toledo is so rich and vast, but people are so incredibly talented, but incredibly humble at the same time.
Yeah, they're too humble.
Yeah.
Too humble. I try
Sometimes too humble.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, how many podcasts have we done? And I can't get anybody to share that they were on the podcast. You guys need to
Almost
pimp
too
us
handful.
out at least a little bit. You
Yeah.
gonna pimp us out?
What? Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
I'll get you on my
All
Facebook,
right,
guys.
there we go.
I'll
That's
take
what I
care of you.
Well, this is also a show where you not only interact with each other, but you interact with each individual person.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like you're stuck with one person throughout the entire thing. It's not a couple thing at any point in time.
Yeah, there's no
You are-
opposite that you play
right.
of. You're opposite of everyone.
Exactly.
So it's not like Mary and Joseph are Velcro to each other. Are they in the show?
No.
Oh, no. Man.
No, but yeah, I mean that's a really great point. Is like you don't have an opposite, so you're not bonding with one person because in one scene you could be doing a parable with one person, and then the next parable you could be with 4 different people that weren't even in the first one. So you really do have to interact and make relationships with every single person in the cast, which typically doesn't happen in a normal theatrical setting.
Or
you
in
kind
a
of
normal
bond
show.
you kind of bond with the people you're on stage with or the people you knew. You might meet a couple people here
Right.
and there that are new. But like with this show, you're kind of forced. You're thrown in.
That's
Everybody
awesome.
interacts with
It
everyone.
kind of reminds me of like a Spring Awakening. There's just
Yes.
it's such a small cast that everybody interacts with each other.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you're doing the Music Man, you got the townspeople who are all the
Absolutely.
little townspeople, and then you have the quartet who are just the quartet.
Yeah.
That's actually a very separating show. Now that I've thought about it for a second.
Yeah.
You get the Peru family and the quartet family. Yeah. It's totally different. So.
Yes, and it's a completely different rehearsal process too. I think if you come into this show thinking it's going to be something like The Music Man or Seussical, where you're only on stage a little bit and then you're only doing your scene work, people are almost like shell shocked because you're on stage the whole time. So you have a lot more blocking. You have to do something the entire time. You have to fill your time with things, and we're not used to doing that for 2.5 hours straight.
And as a viewer of this, which I've seen multiple times, you do find yourself sometimes picking a person out for a while and following that person, even though
Awesome.
another story goes on. But then usually come back to who's singing and all
No,
that.
that's
But
all.
it's
You
a
better
very-
tell your castmates that because there's going to be people like Tom in the audience. They're staring at him for 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm the same way, especially because I'm a choreographer too. I work for a local high school, and I do the same thing with dancers.
What's the high school? Come on, say it. We
I,
like
I
the
work
film.
for Rossford High School,
All right, thank you.
best place ever. I absolutely love what I do. They're the most amazing, incredible kids. But because I'm a dancer, when I go and see musicals, I'll pick out those kids that can really, really dance, that sparkle, and I watch them. And I try to watch the whole thing, but your eyes just kind of hone in on those really special kids and performers.
Yeah, I do that. I'll sit there and watch someone, and my wife is done. I said, that person, that person, that person. Those people are moving on in this
There you
high
go.
schoul production.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are going to keep doing this.
Yeah, I'm absolutely the same way.
So you're both very judgmental.
No, not at all. I think that some people just have like that sparkle or that star quality
kidding.
that they just
I
make
play.
you watch them.
Oh,
Gabriel
no.
has that, you know?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's true. Everybody, sometimes you see him up there and you're like, that person, man, he is loving life up there.
Yes.
Whoever that is, I want to know who
They're
that
being
is.
so authentic and they're just loving what they're doing,
Yeah,
and
Matt
that's
Bain,
the people that you really are drawn to.
I was watching Les Mis one time, and Matt Bain was one of the dudes in the bar scene, and he was just, oh man, I'm like, that guy.
Yes.
He is loving being in this bar scene.
And you remember those people.
Yes, that was-
because of those moments.
That was like 10 years ago.
Right.
And I still remember him having this personality that was, he definitely loved being in ABC. Is that ABC? What are they? Cafe? I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, cool.
Your song that you sing,
Yeah, bless the Lord.
bless the Lord, is there anything you bring to this different than did you do the same song last time you
I did.
performed?
I've done
Okay.
this is the third time doing Godspell, and I've
Okay.
sang this same solo every single time.
Do you do it differently at all?
Yeah, I mean, with being pregnant, I'm almost forced to this time around because I can't breathe as well as I used to because this baby's pushing on my diaphragm.
Gotcha.
My voice is also much lower now too. Like the register of my voice has
Really?
changed a lot. It's not quite as bright as it was. So this whole rehearsal process has been me kind of experimenting with, okay, where is my voice at this time around? What can I do? I can also belt much higher now and do a little bit more riffy stuff and fun because I'm more comfortable with it. So yeah, I add different riffs every day and kind of play with my voice and see what comes out. Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not so great. But that's what rehearsal's for, is playing with things and learning.
I think we heard you
So
earlier.
which
I was
show
like, I'm
should I
pretty
go
sure that's
to?
Rhiannon, yeah.
There's 4 versions. There's 4 days.
Come to all four.
Come on, 4. Okay.
It could be different every night.
Oh, there you go.
That's
There's,
what Danny said.
there's a selling point.
Yes.
Danny said that. He's like,
Yes.
it's going to be different every single time. People are doing different things. They're changing things up on stage. It's
Yeah.
different from the time that he's ever done it. It's different
Yes.
from the time you've ever done it.
And we pull audience members 3 separate times in the show. So you're going to have, for 4 different shows, 12 different audience members
Ooh,
coming
me,
up
me,
on
me,
stage.
me.
Yes, so when you come,
Will they have
volunteer.
Sacramento wine? No, I'm talking
They play charades and they
say
play Pictionary.
Sacramento wine.
Sacramento.
Oh,
But yeah,
Well, it's
our
California
audience
wine.
members, they'll play charades, they play Pictionary, and the other person will actually read lines and be a part of a scene.
Oh, my
So, I mean,
gosh.
it's literally different every single night.
Wow.
read
how
lines
cool
would
is
be a
that?
good one. I'd be like that. Oh, I left my readers in my seat.
No, see, that's something I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen at the end where they've actually had communion with everybody. They had everybody come up to communion.
That's so cool.
COVID, I can't recommend that.
No, not this time around.
But to get audience interaction like that sounds like fun.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing about Godspell is you can do it in whatever concept you want to do. I've seen this show performed as toys coming out of a toy box. And like Jesus was a cowboy and Judas was a police officer. I've seen it done.
Toy Story, the gospel.
Essentially.
Sounds like to
And
me.
their whole set looked like alphabet blocks. Like they were in a child's bedroom. I've seen it done as like a 20 speakeasy before. And like the performer, like the soloists were on the stage and they were like
What's
the
your set
nightlife
going to be?
performers. Our set is very, very organic. It's all black. It's tables. We have a platform that moves throughout. So it's very conceptual. You as an audience member kind of create the set in your mind how you believe it to be. So it's going to be very, very cool.
So really, it's a lot of focus on the performance.
Yes. That's what Michael's big focus was. I don't know if anybody else has spoken
Nope.
on this, but Michael really, when we asked him, what's the theme of the show? What are you doing? He's like, the only theme is this is an actor's production. I want you to put yourself into this character, and I want you to be as authentic as possible. And if there's something that you've always wanted to do, but you've been scared to do, or there's always something you've wanted to wear, but you've never had the confidence to do it, like now's the time to do it. So we're all just wearing our own clothing and living our best lives upstage, and just, it's all about us. And that's what makes this particular production like so special.
Are you able to wear 4 different things for 4 different nights?
If you want to.
Awesome.
You absolutely
I think
could.
we ought to suggest that to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you
We're
absolutely
suggesting
could.
it right now to Rihanna.
With
She's
me,
right.
I only have like 9 things that fit me right now in my closet, so I'm
She'll
just
be
going to
the-
wear the same
Oh
one
my
every
gosh,
night.
that's
Great to be the
exactly me.
pregnant
I
lady.
got like 5 things. I wear this shirt on Monday, this shirt on Tuesday. So every day Tom has to see me wear on every Monday I wear this white shirt, and every
I've
Friday.
been meaning to talk to you about that.
yeah,
Kyle.
yeah.
At least
So
you're consistent.
I have nothing on the weekend, so you
Yeah,
should
well,
be happy I'm not around you
COVID
then.
made me a certain amount of shirts I'm allowed to wear right now too.
So I love to hear that we had Michael on an earlier podcast
Yeah.
talking about his cabarets and talking about how he likes to be able to give people an opportunity to do something in a certain way that they haven't been able to do because of typecasting reasons or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's obviously doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I love to see him practicing what he preaches.
No, he
on this
does.
stuff.
I mean, because there really is a really big issue, even in community theater, but it expands all the way up to professional theater with size. Even beyond
color.
me being and color,
Yep.
absolutely, and gender,
Gender, yep.
absolutely. But like me, prior to not being pregnant, I'm still a plus-sized woman, and I have been passed up for roles because of my size and given the funny role because the funny person is chunky, right? And the
yeah.
person that should be the lead when they fall in love, they should be beautiful and thin, and
It's
that's not real life.
Prince Charming is always 6'2",
Right.
185 of rippling
Yeah,
muscles.
I'm a
and
plus-size woman who's in
and-
love in real life, so why can't I do that
Yeah.
on stage? So Godspell is just such a great show. Like the fact that we have a short-statured black Jesus in this show, that we have a female Judas in this show, that we have someone like me
yeah.
who's pregnant. We have a pastor in this show. Like, it's just so cool to see this like crazy bunch of like misfits, if you will, like coming together to create a community.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's basically what the show's about. kinda.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. It's a very talented cast, very committed, very passionate group of people.
Is there a pit in this? I don't know
Yep.
anything about what the
Smaller
show is.
pit, 2 pianos, so piano 1, piano 2, guitar, drums, and I
Okay.
think a bass.
Okay, yeah, real small.
I mean, the original music was basically written as a small rock band.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you have a small pit.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, here's your trivia of the day. In the movie, the keyboard was actually performed by Paul Schaefer.
No.
Yes.
He was also in Hercules, the animated movie.
Love it. And our pit is so small, they're actually going to be on stage with us as part of the cast. They're not going to be on the ground like they typically are. So our music director and all of our musicians are going to be on stage performing with us so we can interact with them while they play and
That's
stuff,
cool. Like
which is
once.
really
It's
cool.
very
Nice.
once-like. yeah.
Yes, very
Seen
once
that.
like, yes.
Of all the versions I've seen, I've never seen that.
Yeah,
So,
or like
I
Come
mean,
From Away does that as well too.
Oh, do
that
they?
yeah, they are all their entire pit
That's
is
too
on
new
stage
for me to
behind
know
them.
anything
Oh,
about.
it's so good.
That's too new. That's too new of music.
Well, that's
I'm still
actually
trying
coming
to
to
catch up with
Toledo.
all the old ones.
I
yeah.
believe it is.
Yeah.
So I know Ron's already got his tickets probably.
Probably. Yeah, that's one of his faves. I'm done.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Loved you. You were great.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for
Pimp us
coming and
out.
doing what you guys do.
Oh, Say that all again. I was talking.
I will. Seriously, guys, thank you guys for what you do. I said it earlier. Our community theater is so rich and vast in Toledo, and I think that it is so cool that you guys are highlighting not just actors and directors. You're looking at costumers, and hopefully you're expanding out to choreographers and lighting designers and all of those things too. Because
We've already spoken with the choreographer.
Yes,
we just have them in the can. We just haven't
Got
published
you.
it yet.
Because like there's so many facets of theater and you only really see the actors and the musicians, but there's so many facets of it. So I just think what you guys are doing is so vital because our community is so rich in community theater.
Awesome. We have the actors in too, like you said.
Yes.
We have young actors in. Did you listen to Emma Majewski and her young rep
Yes, I
production?
did.
She's
So that's the
delightful.
last one I got to listen to. I've been listening to it on my way to work.
Awesome. That's the goal. People listen to it on the way to work
Yes.
and back and forth and
Yeah.
whenever they can. That's why these are good
Yes.
podcasts. That's why I love them. So thank you for
Absolutely.
coming in.
Thank you.
And now we're going to have Michael in, and he's going to be the last one.
Okay.
Who?
He's going to be our favorite one.
Kidding.
Everybody else's favorite, so he's going to be our favorite, right?
Great. Thank you guys so much.
So nobody said anything good about the show at all.
Perfect.
Yeah. So,
So it's up to me
we start
then?
over here. So now we have Michael. Michael's here,
Yes.
and I'm breaking the news to him that nobody said anything good about the show,
That's really
and
too bad.
nobody in the cast had very positive things to say about you. So how do you want to defend yourself?
Well, I mean, I guess that should speak for itself. If they feel that way, they've been with me for about 2 months, so they would know.
It would make for an interesting show if that
It
were
would
true.
make for an interesting show. We rehearsed for 2 months, and then on the show, they just throw everything
Honestly,
out.
I think
Just-
Tom and I almost got cavities from how many sweet things they were saying about you. It was ridiculous.
Oh, well.
and
that
how
is
good the
too
show
kind.
is, and how
Very-
much how
very
talented
generous.
everybody was, and I'm like, come on.
Absolutely. Everybody is very talented. I was just talking to Lisa, one of the cast members earlier
Lisa, that's
today.
like she's come up like 5 times. I feel like.
Lisa's great. We were having a conversation earlier today about how Godspell is one of those shows where it truly can feature the strengths of everybody in the cast. So it's very easy to compliment everybody here because they, at some point throughout the process, have been highlighted as a leader in the ensemble, and just been able to have a place where their strengths shine.
I have never seen the show, not
Well,
one time.
Hopefully you will see it on September 9th through 12th.
Why? Why do I need to come see it?
Why do you need to come see
Yes.
it? Because I truly believe that Godspell is a show for everybody. And I don't mean that in a sense that you could pluck anybody off the street and they'll find something that they like in there. I think that it is niche enough that people that don't like musical theater might not enjoy it. But I think that it's a show for everybody in a sense that anybody that goes to see it, anybody that is involved in the experience, will be included in a way that is universal, and the lessons that are taught through the script and the music are lessons that anybody can use in their daily lives. It's not something that's just about religion or just about spirituality, which most people would think based on the title.
Right.
It's not relegated to that. It's more open to people interpreting it the way that they need to interpret it in that moment.
We keep hearing how everybody is saying you're letting them be them,
Yes.
which is kind of what Godspell is to begin with. Each person is an individual in the cast. How did you go about bringing that onto them as be yourself?
So there's a layered answer to that. So each of the cast, we have 14 members in our cast. Only 2 of them are playing named characters, Jesus Christ and Judas Iscariot. Everybody else is playing a heightened or fictionalized version of
Right,
themselves.
yeah, that's
So in auditioning for Godspell, you know that you will be entering into this strange thing where your character is just you and you are kind of doing things that you would normally do. But in a deeper sense, a lot of what Godspell provides to the audience is honesty. And in order to achieve that, you have to inject what makes the actual cast members themselves into their stage versions of themselves. So it's a cool show where there's a lot of room for improvisation. There's a lot of room for jokes that are not written in the script to be placed into the show. So I mean, I would say probably 20% now of what we do in the show is not suggested or written in the script at all.
So anybody who's already seen this show is going to have a uniquely different experience this time.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's what I want to know is like, why this show? Why can't I go see the show next week? Somebody's doing it in Godspell. Why do I have to see Waterville Playshop?
Because it'll be completely different.
Yeah, but
It'll be completely different. So there are obviously you have a script that you follow, but there are several times where a joke, just based on when it was written, we're doing the version that was revived in 2011. The album and everything out. Everything else came out in 2012, but it was on Broadway again in 2011, and they have so many topical jokes that were great in 2011 that don't necessarily work now. So any of those, we just take all of that out. Take everything out that doesn't really make sense. Like they had a stimulus package joke because it was that was the whole like Occupy Wall Street time. It was the time of the big bailouts, all of that, the stimulus package that was coming out to a lot of huge American corporations and things like that, and we changed that to stimulus checks.
gotcha. There's a lot of
So bringing it into 2020, 2021, and just updating that stuff.
no
So
thanks
all-
Obama jokes and stuff like that.
No thanks Obama jokes, although Bernie Sanders may make a cameo.
Nice.
Donald Trump will be in there.
I can sit there with gloves on.
The gloves will be there too. So, but if nothing else, come and see the show for the Bernie gloves for sure.
Yeah, the Bernie gloves.
But that inherently is changing. It's ever changing because the
Awesome.
world around us is ever changing. But Godspell is one of the only shows that truly can take its content directly from what's happening in the world now and what's happening in each of the 14 cast members' lives now. So we take their interpersonal relationships and we plug that into the show as well. So people that are closer as friends, they have scenes together specifically that can play off of their friendships. People that are meeting for the first time in the show, they can play off of each other as characters meeting for the first time and use that to further the show. So it's a very cool piece of art for anybody.
I love being ignorant to this show and coming and doing a podcast about this show because I've learned so much, obviously, about like,
It's a really strange show.
I knew nothing.
It's a really strange show.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was just a Bible show, and I didn't think anything of it. And here I am realizing, no,
that is the misconception
huge.
that it's just a biblical show, and it very well can be if that's all you want or need from it, for sure. You can come in and we read you essentially a theatrical version of the Book of Matthew. And if that's all you want to see, or if that's all that you need when you come to see the show,
because that's how it is performed in churches.
That's-
That's how I feel like a lot of churches will perform it like that.
maybe
Not
not.
always.
Oh, see.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Wow, I see. I'm wrong on it.
See, that's why you have to come
This
and see
is
the
what
show.
happens on this podcast. I am wrong a lot, actually.
That's okay.
I
That's
embrace
just
the
a lot
wrongness.
of learning that happens
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
You
yeah.
come in, host a podcast, learn a bunch of stuff,
I'm like-
and then you go and you are wrong about another show, and you
Yeah.
learned a bunch of stuff about that
Always
show.
wrong. It's starting to hurt a little bit, my feelings, but oh well.
Now, you've actually performed in this show yourself. You've actually been Jesus.
Jesus.
Yes.
What
so
have you brought from your performing in it into the directing?
Ooh, solid question.
It is a show that's crafted in such a way that I think anybody that plays the role of Jesus, or I guess anybody in the show, really, you have to put so much of yourself into it that I think I took more from more about the ensemble aspect of things from when I was in it than Jesus-centric things, which is, I guess, backwards. I guess people would assume that I would have more opinions on how Jesus should be, having played him. But I think that Danny, who plays our Jesus, has perfectly encapsulated what Danny's version of Jesus is, and that's what I want to preserve as a director. For Godspell, I think the most important thing for me is to work for the cast more than they're working for me. And doubly so in a show that they are making so much of it out of nothing. They're coming up with their own jokes. They're coming up with their own bits. They have things that they want to show or show off. And a lot of this show is just allowing that to a point where it becomes not watchable or just not funny or it doesn't mesh, and then kind of just shaping it after we have all of this stuff collected. So I think taking from when I was in it to this show, a lot of structural things, making sure we're still on the rails all the way through, and then corralling all of the ideas.
It's like you're working for Saturday Night Live, and they got a bunch of improvers going all over the place.
It's just putting the sketches in
or
the show.
Tom
that
working
make,
with me on this podcast.
Yes, putting the sketches in the show that make sense, cutting the things that don't make sense or are just extra weight, and kind of streamlining it.
That's okay.
There we go. I got there.
Rehearsal Crash. That's hard for me to say. Rehearsal Crash. I kept wanting to say Rehearsal Walker, which is a football joke for people that are really hardcore theater.
That went over my head.
See, exactly. Rehearsal Walker's a great football player. But
just kind of keeping things on track, making sure everything is streamlined, while allowing everybody enough room to play.
Are you doing a lot of different things in this play? One of the gals that sat here mentioned that there were 5 people singing by my side.
Yes.
I mean, that's normally a duet.
Correct. So
is that something different or something you've created?
The great thing about Godspell is it is now multi-generational. So when it first came out in the 70s and it was made popular in the late 70s, early 80s, that whole generation of not only theater goers, but people universally knew the songs from Stephen Schwartz, knew the songs from Godspell. So people were singing Light of the World and Day by Day and By My Side. And it's been recontextualized so many times that it is updated for new generations, but still harkens back to the people that remember it when it first came out. So now with the way that it's presented in the script for us, we can make our versions of it. And By My Side, people can come in and see, it's By My Side. When I first saw it as a little kid or as a middle-aged person or as an older person, when I first saw that, it was a duet or a solo or a full ensemble.
Is this your choice or is this part of the
this
revitalization?
Was my choice.
Okay.
To
nice.
do just 5 was my choice, yeah.
Any other songs like that you're kind of putting your own
Beautiful
twist on?
City is a little bit different. That'll be a duet between Jesus and Judas with the ensemble singing. In the revival, it's just a solo, which is a huge change from the original because it's a full ensemble piece in the original.
It's the ending song in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's going back again, I keep harping on this to the cast and to everybody I talk to about this, but it's so malleable. Godspell is so open to interpretation that you can really, as long as it's polished and clean, there's no wrong answer for how to interpret it.
Very fun. Very fun.
We beseech thee in the background here. I'm listening for the changes in that one.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to crash your rehearsal. Thank you for doing this for us, because this is a new, unique, fun, different kind of thing we want to do for the podcast, but at the same time wanted to promote your show coming up, which is one last time where?
It is at the Mommy Indoor.
When?
September 9th, 10th, and 11th at 7 p.m. and the 12th at 2:30. So it's a matinee on the Sunday.
And you get your tickets where?
You can get your tickets at watervilleplayshop.org. I believe that is the only place. I think they're only doing online sales. They haven't given us any tickets, so I'm assuming it's only online.
Thanks again. Thank you for letting us interrupt.
I'm so looking forward to this.
Yes. And hey, people out there, if you like this podcast, tell other people, would you? We want as many people listening to these shows as possible so we can keep doing this stuff, okay? If you love theater in the area, like as much as we do, tell everybody about this podcast. We want to keep it going as long as we can.
This is a great resource.
We're not going anywhere. I mean, we got new equipment now. Since the last time you were even in, we got new equipment to do to have better microphones.
I remember it's just like sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And this is so much more advanced now.
Yeah, I know already, but we're doing stuff on the couch still because we still love our drinky drinks.
Well, of course. And this is such a great resource for people to learn about, not just shows, but theater companies or specific people. I just watched.
And by people, you mean me.
Right. Yeah, this is the number one resource to learn about Kyle Omler.
No, for Kyle Omler to learn about the shows. I don't even know what they are. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What? I just listened to Jeffrey's episode and Jordan's episode the other day.
So Perrysburg Musical Theater?
Super interesting. Yeah, ACT and Perrysburg Musical Theater.
And Actors Collaborative,
And a lot was left out of Jordan's.
Oh, yeah, I got a whole nother second half.
The whole batch of drinking.
Yeah, I had.
It just got kind of brutal.
Yeah, a whole bunch of Manhattan jokes in that one. Yeah.
After a while, it was like Perrysburg. Yeah, so I had to cut. After a while, I couldn't even pronounce Perrysburg. So I was having a great time. This is what happens when I know people.
Man, that's half of the whole podcast game. You just have to enjoy yourself.
Yes, it's all
you can't
about
just have a content
It's
dump.
also half of theater.
Right.
Having fun.
I would
having
say
a great
more
time.
so.
Yes.
Finding a way to produce good content and also enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what everybody said about me as a director.
No, they
but
love it. You're gonna love it. Your head's gonna get so big you won't be able to walk through a door.
Can't wait to listen. Can't wait.
What did you say? My dad said you're gonna have to butter your ears to get through the door jam.
One of my core beliefs as a director is being very cast centric, and a huge part of this show in particular, and anything that I direct, but for this style of show in particular, I want to make sure that the experience itself is not only fun and engaging, but worthwhile for everybody that's going to be on stage. Because again, I think that the director and the crew should be working for the actors. I should be the one doing the most work out of everybody.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they should be focusing on what they want to bring to the stage and bring to the audience and bring to their friends and family that come see it.
Awesome. Thanks again, man.